Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another video, and this is the first in the Hasbro Marvel Legends series X-Men Age of Apocalypse Sugar Man Build-A-Figure Wave. And here, the first one up is Jean Grey. Now, I stuck with this one only because on the back of the package it has an order, and I'm simply going to go right down in order to review all the figures in the wave. But here we have Jean Grey. Now, lots of comments about how she is positioned in the package. I don't know that there's any other way that Hasbro could have done this. That Sugar Man Build-A-Figure head, torso, whatever this part really is so large, there's no other way to get it in there. So Jean looks to be like an afterthought in this package. You go out in the store, you see it hanging on the pegs. For those, the uninitiated that aren't aware, any person that's going to see this is going to think, wow, that's a weird toy. So it's kind of an odd choice all around how they did it. Now, Hasbro likes to stick with the same packaging. They don't want to open this thing up or make it bigger. So this is what we got. It's interesting. Here we go. So side artwork looks awesome for all the figures. I really like the way they do it. They have Apocalypse here, and then you have the character on the side. Looks really good. On the back of the package, just like always, we have the Build-A-Figure Sugar Man. We have all the figures in the wave. We have the Build-A-Figure, and we have a bio that reads, Jean Grey can read and project thoughts and stun opponents with pure psionic force. So pretty awesome. UPC down on my Instagram, link in the video description below. Let's get right to it. Open her up. Okay, so every now and then you guys know that I like to kind of show off the insert and how that looks. So here we get this nice look at Apocalypse right on there, and that is pretty cool. Then, so you guys know, here on the Build-A-Figure how it looks in package. It's just kind of stuffed in there, and then Jean Grey is just on her side. That's the best way and only way they were able to actually get this all to fit in one package. Okay, and here is the Jean Grey figure out of the package. So no additional accessories or anything like that. This wave is actually really lacking in additional accessories, and that's going to be for a couple of reasons. They budget the wave out for a Build-A-Figure like this, which is crazy amount of pieces and pretty cool. So you can see that the upper torso piece is going to be broken down into 3 different pieces. So here we have the head, which looks like so, and here we have the torso, or the front half of the torso. So there is a back half, and I think that's the one that comes with Wild Child. So it's really interesting how they have it. The suspenders are a separate floating loose piece that goes on there. So we'll put all that together in a video down at the end of the line. Here we have the Jean Grey figure, and first let's get up close and see how she looks. Okay, and here is an up close look at the Jean Grey figure, and this looks really good and accurate to the comic. Now, I bought the trade book to read. I started reading it, and I haven't even gotten to finish it because I didn't realize that I'd be able to get this wave so soon. I did get it from a seller on Mercari, so pre-orders have not shipped out. I have no idea what's going on. No clue how this seller on Mercari was able to get this wave so early. He also got the Snake Eyes box set. He also had the new Star Wars wave. That same seller I got the Stan Lee figure from, that got the Black Widow figures super early. I have no clue, no idea, but he gets stuff early, so I picked up the wave, which cost me an arm and a leg, which was crazy, but you know, I was really excited about this wave. Really good. The storyline is very interesting. Now, I haven't gotten into a lot of the parts where some of these characters are from, but it is a very good read, and I will be reading that and getting that finished up hopefully soon. But here we have Jean Grey. Looks really good. Now, when I reviewed this Black Widow figure, I'm like, oh, I wonder if they use the same head. So having them side by side, I can tell you they are not the same head, but hair color is about the same, so I'm sure they can kind of be swapped around. I will not be showing that head swap because the blue paint, you know, the customizers would be able to do that. You guys, it just wouldn't look right to me. But here we have the Jean Grey figure, and looks very good. So paint apps, not a whole lot going on. So there's a couple of different blues in the legs, and then down to the feet and along the calves we get some red. Now this figure is going to stand better than most because this figure actually uses the Rider's Black Widow legs and lower half. So shouldn't be a problem. These legs aren't too gummy, and I know Hasbro has plans to kind of fix that with future figures having pinless joints, but until then we have this, and it is a better fit, no gummy knees, kind of like that Black Widow have. You see how they're super skinny? This one is much more sturdy compared to this. So that looks really good. The red surprisingly looks pretty good because usually when they have red over a darker color, sometimes it tends to bleed through. I don't see that problem here, so I am very pleased with that. The only time I see that is right on the ankle joints, and of course that's kind of to be expected. So no concerns there, but it does all look pretty good. Now, the Age of Apocalypse storyline has some very odd designs for all the characters. Everyone's kind of has, you know, redesigned and things, and it just looks kind of funny to me. So here, this figure, it looks kind of odd because of how the shoulders are, and because of that, you see the arms are further out, and that just looks kind of weird to me. Like, this arm should really be further in, whereas this should just kind of be overhanging. It's a little odd, and then it hinders the articulation, and we'll get to that here shortly. But looking at the Jean Grey figure, it does look pretty good. The paint that they use on the face came out looking very clean, so I like it. Now let's see her articulation. Okay, so for Jean Grey's articulation, one thing that's really weird, that head sits high up on the neck, and it looks a little funny because you can see right underneath it at certain angles. But because of that, she can look all the way down very easily. She can look up pretty easily, and it looks unnatural because, again, it sits so high up on that neck peg. Full rotation, of course. There is a lot of pivot going on in there. The arms can go up that high. Now, these shoulder pads aren't soft. Well, they're not hard. They're not as soft as some of the others, but that is going to cause some problems with articulation. So you got to work that shoulder around to get a full rotation in there. There is a swivel at the elbow, and of course, single jointed elbow. But that single jointed elbow does give you a 90 degree. But it's kind of wonky. You can't. It gets in the way of being able to try and get like her arm close to her head. It just doesn't work. You gotta. See, she can't even touch her head because of the way that the shoulders are, so that really hinders it. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge here. Female figure, we get diaphragm joint, of course, no ab crunch, so she can pivot to the side that much, pivot to the side that much. She can go back quite a bit, and you can actually see the gap right there. She can go forward only a tiny bit. Legs go out that far apart. She can't kick forward that much, can't go back at all, really. Upper thigh cut there. We get a double jointed knee, no boot swivel or calf swivel or anything. Foot hinges all the way down, hinges up, and we get a nice ankle pivot there and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So decent articulation for the legs, and the diaphragm joint, typical of what we see with female figures, but that shoulder I think can be a problem potentially. Okay, and here is Jean Grey to the most recent Jean Grey figure that has been released by Hasbro. Okay, here is Jean Grey next to the Stan Lee figure, and one more size comparison. Okay, and for the last size comparison here, we have Jean Grey next to the Hasbro Apocalypse Build-A-Figure that was released a year and a half, 2 years ago. We know that they are releasing another Apocalypse with different color schemes. It's going to be a repaint with a couple of new accessories. I think a new head as well. That's going to be a deluxe figure that's going to get released. I think Hasbro is really going all in on the Age of Apocalypse, so I would expect to see a Wave 2. Because we have Wild Child in this wave, but no Sabretooth, which seems weird to me. But pretty good size comparison between the two. That is a review. You guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of this Jean Grey figure. What do you think of the whole wave? Because I've heard lots of negative, but I've heard lots of positive. Let me know down in the comments below. If you guys liked the video, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so somewhere down here. Hit the notification bell. And as always, thank you for watching.